Hey, I'm Frankie, and in this video we're looking at power and influence. Who are the big players right now? Who has the greatest influence over you and I? And how is that different to power?
Influence, that is the ability to change people's minds by argument, by example, and to do that you need mass communication. You use the internet, social media to give people huge platforms to have huge influence. But that's not the same as power. Power today is pretty much the same as it has been throughout history. It depends on who has the biggest stick and who has the largest pot of gold.
Let's step away from the politicians in suits shaking hands, posing for pictures and giving speeches. For now, we're looking at the influencers. I'm not just talking Instagram, we're going much further than that. I'm going to tell you what posh pottery, Kylie Jenner and a Nobel Prize have to do with it. And to help us pick our list of the top influencers, we've called in some favours with some of the BBC's experts and a cat helping out. Meow. First up, here's Nick from BBC Click.
I'd say the most influential person in tech at the moment is Elon Musk, founder of Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink and the Boring Company. I think that's about it, because he makes us think about our environmental impact on the world. From electric cars to new forms of home battery storage to recycling rockets, the billionaire's ventures constantly challenge the norm. But the real-life Iron Man does have his weaknesses. This year he was sued by a diver in the Thai cave rescue mission for posting a slur about him on Twitter. And he smoked weed on a podcast, causing Tesla shares to plummet. Most recently he was dethroned as chair of Tesla as part of settling a fraud complaint from US financial regulators. Despite all this though, he does continue to affect the way we think about energy consumption, personal transport and really what's possible.
Next, we're delving into the world of science.
Hi Frankie, this is Schrödinger. Say hi. Influence can be a really hard thing to measure in science because by its nature it's a long process of discovery and stepwise progress. But there was one person that for me really stood out, Professor Donna Strickland. A laser physicist from Canada, became the first woman in more than half a century to win a physics Nobel Prize. She is such an important role model, especially for young women in physics and science in general. Hi, Shro, what do you think?
Thanks for your input there, Schrödinger. We needed you.
My most influential sports star of 2018, well, it has to be the gymnastic juggernaut that is Simone Biles. At the World Championships in Doha, she claimed her 14th world title. She's someone who's worked with charities to help those who have been in foster care, someone who's been in foster care herself as a young child. She's also a survivor of sexual abuse, and she's worked hard to help those who've been affected by the same ordeal.
Next, Instagram.
I think the most influential person of 2018 has to be none other than Miss Kylie Jenner. She literally sneezes and we all catch a cold. When she said she had lip filler, all of a sudden everybody was talking about lip filler. I went and got lip filler. She has a huge influence on fashion. When she wore the dresses for her 21st birthday, people started making copies like this one here. Although I'm pretty sure she didn't wear hers with slippers like me, but we'll ignore that. She also came out this year and said she wasn't using Snapchat anymore, and then they lost loads of money. And on top of all of that, she's set to be one of the world's youngest billionaires. Jealous much?
Influencers may seem relatively new, but the Royals, for example, endorsed this really posh pottery, Wedgwood. Then Fatty Arbuckle, an American silent actor, was among the first celebrities to endorse a product, cigarettes. Next, music. We wanted to know the artist who has the biggest influence.
For me, the most powerful human on the planet has to be Drake. We can start with the record-breaking numbers, most streamed artist ever, 50 billion streams. We can talk about the 29 weeks he's spent at #1. When he's not making music, he's also changing the lives of millions of people around the world through his charity work. One of his videos was all about him going around America and handing out bundles of cash. Also, the UK has a lot to thank Drake for. 2 artists he featured on one of his albums, Skepta and Giggs, their music increased by 146% across the Atlantic just by Drake's magic touch.
Now for our Hollywood Insider.
Hello there from Oscar and I. We're just having a little chat about the Oscars. I was thinking about Angelina Jolie with her humanitarian work and J.K. Rowling with all the books that she's sold. But the person who really stands out for me, it's the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle. Her messages to young women have been extremely powerful. She's got this real heady mixture of having married into royalty, so she's now got real credibility, but she's still a style icon. She's still fashionable and gorgeous, and everybody wants to know what she's wearing, what she's doing.
Let's check out Bollywood.
The most influential Bollywood star right now is Ayushmann Khurrana. By choosing unconventional roles in films like Vicky Donor, where he plays a sperm donor, and a man dealing with erectile dysfunction in Shubh Mangal Savdhan, Ayushmann has helped break stigmas around taboo subjects in the country. On social media, Ayushmann has been praised for the way he's spoken openly about coming to terms with his wife's cancer diagnosis.
But as James said at the beginning, those with the biggest stick or the biggest pot of gold will always have the most power.
The most powerful man in the world is obviously Donald Trump. He's the President of the United States. He's the elected leader of the largest economy in the world, and he's in charge of one of the largest militaries. He's been caught up by President Xi Jinping of China, hugely important country in the world today, growing economy, growing military, increasingly investing all over the world.
Sorry girls, it's a man's world at the top. Fingers crossed for next year.